This past Thursday, at the State of the Union address, Trump said, "We ended DEI in America." This rang a bell to me and reminded me of our discussion this week about white supremacy in the United States. So I did a deep dive into what exactly DEI was. And the D stands for diversity, which embraces differences. E stands for equity, and it seeks to identify and remove barriers. And then I stands for inclusion, and it seeks to create a safe, valued, and respected culture. So why could anyone have an issue with this? Well, when I look at arguments that oppose DEI, they would be based off of the idea that criteria should be based off of merit, not race or gender. And when we're looking at the idea that people are being discriminated against because they're white, male, or straight. So how do I make sense of this? Well, when we looked at the paper published by Desmond King and Roger Smith in 2005, they wrote this paper about many things, but one of the ideas is that the United States moved from a Herrenvolk democracy into a colorblind democracy, where laws were overtly racist and whiteness came with a privilege under a Herrenvolk democracy. Thinking of Jim Crow, it now moved into a colorblind democracy where racism and white privilege isn't overt, but that these systems are still around and that white privilege is considered the norm. So, for example, looking at SAT scores, looking at, the wealth discrepancy, looking at prison rates, all of these neutral systems, these statistics, pit white people as the norm. And you could also look at it from a societal standpoint with white representation in the media, looking at CEOs, government positions. Usually the upper echelons of our society are white dominated. Even within the military, that is also the case. This brings me back to DEI because these programs are pitted to be discriminatory against white people, straight people. This very idea of what we're talking about, white privilege, that DEI is going against white privilege. And so I see this as a clear example of how the Trump administration, for example, is utilizing fear and anxieties that people are experiencing to build a coalition that seeks to take away efforts of trying to equal out the playing field and remove some of the systemic barriers that are in place maintaining white privilege. It is undeniable that white supremacy has been a foundational aspect of the U.S. Black people, alongside other races, were legally discriminated against, especially during the Jim Crow era. These practices did not magically disappear with the Civil Rights Amendments. Today, Americans are visibly looking at an administration that seeks to remove initiatives that provide, in principle, opportunities to disadvantaged groups. Whether they have been successful or not, ending DEI, to me, serves as a symbol of white privilege. I'm left wondering, will we ever achieve a more egalitarian society within my lifetime?